glance around the store and buy every flower in the shop, all for her, naturally, in the grandest of gestures. It was fanciful, perhaps far-fetched. Very well, it was far-fetched, but dreams often were, and Papa had always encouraged her to dream large. He would smile as he reminisced about her mother, claiming that if he hadn't dreamed he could win her, then Poppy and Bryony would never have been born. In fact, she blamed Papa for instilling such a grand imagination in her. He'd read Gulliver's Travels and Chaucer to her before the fire after dinner every night. Mamma was no better. At least, the little Poppy remembered of her. Of course, Martha Smitten, daughter to a country squire, was a romantic, a member of the gentry. She had to be in order to leave a life of comfort and status behind when she ran away and married Papa against her family's wishes. It was a story she had told Poppy at bedtime every night, up until her death. Poppy believed in love and rainbows and leprechauns. Romance and whimsy were in her blood. Life was short. She knew this from losing parents much too soon. Life was precarious, and she had no wish to squander it. She wanted to believe a grand romance waited for her, even if, in the meantime, she was stuck working in a flower shop all day and doing needlework at night by candlelight simply to make ends meet for herself and Bryony. Some day her turn would come. Poppy rarely worked alone in the shop. If Mrs. Barclay wasn't present, then Jenny, the other sales clerk, was in attendance. Jenny stared at her so knowingly whenever the Duke visited that Poppy was sure the girl was aware of her feelings. She could do little else but gawk and fumble awkwardly around him, which was why she was grateful Mrs. Barclay was present when the Duke called one Tuesday morning in December. Jenny was not present to waggle her eyebrows suggestively. Mrs. Barclay was overseeing an arrangement of fresh flora that had just been delivered from one of their hothouse vendors. The bell shook above the door as he entered the establishment. Naturally, Mrs. Barclay greeted him. She loved rubbing elbows with aristocracy, a perk of the trade. "Oh, Your Grace!" She executed a wobbly curtsy. "So good to see you again." He doffed his head politely. "Good day, Mrs. Barclay." He inclined his head toward Poppy, always ever the gentleman, but did not address her. Likely he had forgotten her name. "What can we assist you with today, Your Grace? Tulips? These just arrived. Even in this unseasonably warm winter, they are still hard to come by, even from the hothouses, but you can trust Barclays to have them for you, Your Grace." He thoughtfully considered the blooms. "I don't think so." He lifted his head and scanned the shop, his gaze stopping on Poppy, or rather, the pair of lemon saplings beside her. "Those are lovely." He closed the space separating them, hands clasped behind his back. The Duke stopped before Poppy and leaned in to inhale the lemon saplings. The young trees were almost her height, which brought his fine aquiline nose very close to her shoulder. Her lungs ceased to draw air. Blast, but he smelled nice. "Would you like these?" Poppy managed to get out past her lips. Seeing that the Duke was well attended, Mrs. Barclay turned her attention back to the new arrangement of flora. "Yes," he nodded. "I think I shall take 2. "Lovely." She fixed a smile on her face. "Would you like them delivered, Your Grace, or—" "Yes." He removed a card from his pocket and slid it toward her. "To this residence, and can you tie a ribbon and bow around the trunks or some such?" He gestured with a flick of his hand. She nodded, fumbling for the spools of ribbon. "Of course, Your Grace." The Duke turned that devastating smile of his upon her. "Splendid." He turned his attention out to the window, perusing the street and forgetting her. Disappointment punched her in the chest as she fumbled with ribbon. What was she expecting? For him to lavish her with his undivided attention? She'd said nothing clever or amusing. "Think, Poppy. Be witty." She finished wrapping each slight trunk with yellow and green striped bows. Following that, she marked the transaction in Mrs. Barclay's ledger so that the expenditure could be deducted from the Duke's retainer.